I'd like to think of myself as the conscious physician. Being a physician has been meaningful to me because my grandfather in Iran, he was a physician for 40 years, and this is what he did. There was a sacred relationship between him and the patient, him and his community, and that's what I grew up watching. And there was a lot of respect and honor in what he was doing. Fast forward to, 20, 30 years later, and I'm a physician in America in the Western medicine model, and it's not that. And it wasn't that. Being an academic hospitalist, I'm an internal medicine physician, trained in inpatient medicine, meaning I take care of the extremes of illness, of pathologies, with addiction medicine, with end of life practice, with just the worst of pathologies, whether it be cancer, mental health, all of it. And I saw myself as a cog in the wheel, and just like numbers were, what was at the forefront of medicine in the medical industrial complex, that's what we're seeing. And it was so far away from my values of what I grew up with, and that sacredness was taken away. Therefore, I also got really burnt out. And in my rise from burnout and using psychedelic medicines, I was given these beautiful gifts of life practices. I call them conscious life practices that I partake in every day. Grounding, meditation, breath work, connection, hydration, nutrition, and implementing that into my own life over a long period of time saved my life and saved my family life. After a year and a half of doing this work, also I was upkeeping with the research of what was coming out of large institutions, reputable institutions like Hopkins, like Imperial College of London, Stanford, all these places that were looking into psychedelic medicines, MAPS, with their MDMA trials. At the FDA level, looking at ketamine, looking at MDMA in veterans. And then I was like, oh, it's happening. People are now talking about it, because when I entered this space, no one was talking about it. In fact, the research that I was looking at was still from the 1970s, 1950s even, in autistic children, or LSD for therapy, MDMA and therapy that were coupled, and great results. And then the Controlled Substance Act of 1970 and wiped everything out. And here we are again. I saw this like sparkles come on with these institutions that are very reputable. And so I started attending some of the conferences and educating myself, continuing the education of that inner experience with the outer, what's coming out from academia. And so then a few years later is when I started kind of bringing this outward to the world, really stepping into that expert role. I was afraid of using my voice and actually coming out and saying, oh, this is what you do with this medicine, and this is what you got to avoid in this one. But it was people like Aubrey Marcus. I was listening to some of his podcasts at the time. And then I read an article in the Sports Illustrated by Aaron Rodgers, coming out and talking about his ayahuasca experience and getting through some of his childhood issues. And then he also said that his MVP status 3 years in a row was really because of the ayahuasca experience that he had and unraveling the childhood trauma or whatnot. And when I saw that, that indicated to me that we're about to have a very large number of people who follow him and other athletes or other influencers in society, and they're going to seek psychedelic treatment or therapy or retreats and so forth. And so to me as an expert, I was like, ooh, we are playing with fire, because my own experience with that LSD trip could have spun me out of control and could have harmed me and my family significantly for years to come if I wasn't who I was and didn't have the safety and support of my family. I decided to go on Bloom NBC and bring education, to the community who is using. And by this point, there were thousands of people who were using psilocybin microdosing or macrodosing or going to ayahuasca retreats. And some of my own friends who had gone to some of these retreats had come back, not in a good place, and they didn't have the support that they needed from a community who understood what they were going through. And so that also sparked another part of this, journey of how are we helping people integrate back into life after the earthquake that you just went through, right? Internally, how we bring calmness and groundedness afterwards for us to make sense and meaning of what happened. Then I created a coaching program for physicians, specifically helping them before the journey to prep, and then guiding them, and then also afterwards to integrate and creating community. The creation of community is what I'm working on right now. Now I'm bringing that forward with my work as the conscious physician to our community to help decrease suffering, for not only my own family, but also the dying patients' families. So that's what I practice now. I've transitioned into end-of-life care, and in fact, we just opened up our own hospice practice in Albuquerque called ABQ Hospice and Palliative, so taking care of end-of-life patients and also using plant medicines.